kidnapping regime did take place. There's still children missing, not reunited from their parents. The administration has just talked about reducing refugees yet again. This war for ethnically cleansing America is in full swing. And Richard Blumenthal, senator from Connecticut, asked the DHS official if zero tolerance policy has been a success.
Let me ask this panel, who here thinks that zero tolerance has been a success? You can just raise your hand if you think it's been a success. Who thinks that the family separation policy has been a success? Raise your hand. Who here can tell me who is responsible? Which public official, which member of this administration is responsible for zero tolerance and family separation?
They probably can't answer that or they'll get fired.
Can anyone tell me? Who's responsible? Nobody knows?
These people are fascists. They're barbarous. It is pure barbarism. It's bigoted. It's xenophobic. It's immoral. It lacks basic humanity. They should be shunned, shamed, disrespected, and locked up when they're out. And also, on the positive end, don't get in your heads. I remember in the beginning of the administration, and even Steve Bannon has said it himself, they said, oh, we did the Muslim ban because we knew the libs would freak out. And there were some people who were doing these Medium posts like, oh my God, don't go to the airports because this is part of their strategy to do this and da-da-da, and they're secret geniuses and all this shit. Get the fuck out of your heads and get on the streets and call your representatives and do everything you can to push back against immoral, disgusting, racist policies like child kidnapping, because this is what it leads to. He's asking them a question. They're embarrassed. They're covering up for despicable behavior, and they've had to technically reverse the policy. Now, we're still under threat every day, and millions of people are being harmed by these people, and there's a lot more to do. But there would be nothing accomplished by sitting back and being like, oh, well, I don't know what their secret game plan is, and how will this register on some Fox segment or some bullshit poll? No, respond urgently and morally to something that's totally unacceptable, and there will be gains.
Do you want a morbid Matt thought experiment?
Yes, please.
There's a world where they all enthusiastically raise their hands. And imagine what kind of conditions we'd be under then.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you know what? The Muslim ban was upheld in a moderated form, and it's another calumny. It's another indictment of this Supreme Court. But there also was, even if in Bannon's, in his whatever his bloated vapors are, that it was a win. No, that was a moment when you went out. When I was there in JFK, looking at those riot police, surrounded by people who cared. That was the most powerful that was the moment where it was like, okay, we're going to be able to deal with this. People did that across the country, and several courts rejected the initial orders, and he had temper tantrums about it. And yes, we lost on a moderated form because they control the levers of power, which is, again, why things like voting matter, sorry to say. But we went out, and I don't care what fantasy nerd 10-dimensional chess or whatever the fuck it is Steve Bannon had about it. We won because we were out. And that's what needs to happen across the board. And this is another indication of that. There's another morbid thought experiment where, not Blumenthal. Blumenthal's pretty blue state, pretty liberal guy. But I mean, there's a not only they're all raising their hands enthusiastically, but there's a certain type of Democrat that I don't need to name who's like, oh, I think we need to have a moderate. I believe in, we call it half kidnapping, where you separate the siblings. I think that's a moderate path forward that we could use.
We're going to do this behind closed doors, but we're going to give them a real grilling.
Exactly.
The truth does not always lie at the midpoint between two opinions.
It almost seldom never does in today's environment.
To quote Christopher Hitchens, the truth lies in the middle, but lies is like Trump's lies.
Ooh.
Hitch slapped.
Yeah.